This is Rochelle Rizzi with Vrai, and I'm here with my good friend Jennifer. She is the owner of Figured Out Fitness, and I wanted to bring her to the table because I knew she'd have some amazing tips for us during this time. Jennifer Nagel has been in my life for about 15 years, and we both met during, we'll just say, very different chapters in our lives. We have really come together as women business owners. We're both mothers. We both work remotely and manage our small little enterprises with big, big dreams and vision. And I think that's what I love about Jennifer, is that she can sit down with me and we can strategize and we can talk about all of the warm, fluffy things, but be very strategic and inspire each other. So I knew Jennifer would be a wonderful asset to this docuseries. So Jennifer, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm very excited to talk about me, but first I want to say thanks, Rochelle. She's so downplaying it because whenever we meet up, I feel like it's Rochelle telling me all of her great stories and strategies, and I'm just like, okay. But we have a great relationship, and I've appreciated her friendship and her network over the time. She's introduced me to some great people who I'm still in touch with. So thanks again, Rochelle, for inviting me to be part of the docuseries. I love this concept. But yeah, I'm Jennifer Nagel. I own Figured Out Fitness, which is an online fitness and nutrition services company. What does that mean? Because everyone's like, I don't know what that means. Honestly, where I focus is I help high-performing women get into the best shape of their lives. They hire me because they want a solution. They want something that doesn't have a lot of guesswork. They want something that fits into their lifestyle, and that's how I work with people as individuals. Actually, I should edit that. Mostly, I have worked with people one-on-one throughout my couple of years of business, but I have recently developed a new program, which is going to really allow me to help a lot more people. So taking the individual coach out of it, but still creating that customized plan, customized blueprint that people can follow on their own. So that's what I do. It's been such a passion project of mine because I used to be that person, right? I used to be that high performing person who was not taking care of themselves. A lot of trainers don't like to admit this, but I used to be super overweight. I was 40 pounds overweight, drinking Dr. Pepper half the time, barely eating, not sleeping well, super stressed, and I was not at the top of my game. So a lot of the people that I work with are like you and me, Rochelle. We really work hard. We really care about our future. We want to excel and grow and do all these wonderful things. And what I realized for myself and what I realized for a lot of my clients is that you can't do those things if you are not in your best place. And by being in your best place, that means you physically have to have the energy and be taking care of yourself and to feel good in order to excel.
That's awesome. Thank you. And I wonder what you're hearing from people right now, whether they're prospective clients or current clients. Are they coming to you with, hey, I'm having this roadblock, or the opposite of, I have all this time, how do I make the best of it? Which you would hope that's where everybody is. But I'm also sensing, there's also this sense of overwhelm. I will speak to my own story, which is, I do have extra time. So we're taking longer walks. I love that we had some great weather this week. We're in Michigan, so we're used to some grayness. We had sunshine yesterday. It was fantastic. But also, just taking a break and carving out time for myself seems so much more important right now because I'm homeschooling 4 children. It is like a one-room schoolhouse. While running a business, starting this passion project, which no complaints, but, I have to carve this time out. I don't know how I've been able to do it with the kids in the house. They have been angels, like 4 boys from 6 to 14. I don't know if they're just excited to see what mama's doing and supportive, or I just happen to get lucky, but it's such a crazy time right now. So talk to us about the experiences you're hearing from other women or men, for that matter.
Yeah, you totally hit the nail on the head. The thing about people who are like really driven, really, focused is that we can handle chaos. We just have like formulas and schedules and things that we do. Well, unfortunately, these last few weeks, those were blown up, right? So you know how to handle four boys and a career and a business and all of this other stuff and relationships, and you've created systems in place in your life to do that. But now all those systems have completely changed. So what I'm seeing from a lot of my potential clients and my current clients is stress, because these are people who are used to being good at what they do. They're used to having their kids' schedules on lock, and they're performing at their companies and or in their businesses, or in whatever roles that they have, maybe as community leaders. And now it's like all of the normal channels that we've had by which to do that are gone. The fitness channel's gone. Can't go to the gym. Now I've always worked with clients at home, not a big deal, but the stress is the number one thing. So not only that, but the people that I work with tend to be leaders, and people who are in charge of stuff are not only taking on their stress, but they're taking on the stress of the teams and the people that they work with. They are the person has to be the one who reassures you that everything's going to be okay, while still dealing with the emotion and the stress of everything trying to be okay in their own lives. So what I'm seeing is this complete like blowing up of people's normal routines, which is in fact then stressful, and then dealing with everybody else's emotions around all the changes that are occurring. So one of the things that's been really important for me to stress with my clients and even new people that I'm working with is that, my philosophy has always been that fitness and nutrition is not just aesthetic. Of course, we want to look good. We want to have abs. We want to, fit into our clothes. We want to look good, but it's way deeper than that. And that's why I work with the clientele that I work with. It is about your ability to be at your best. And like one of the analogies that I make for folks is like when you go on a long road trip, if you're going to take your car, you're going to make sure your oil's changed, your tires are inflated, everything's working properly, because you're getting ready to go on a long, hard journey. And so our bodies are the same thing. We are constantly like asking it to perform for us, where we want it to have energy. We need our minds to be working right. And the only way that you can really do that is to take care of this vessel, to take care of your car. So when we're in this big time of stress, the shift is, so people who may have come to me and they said it was for weight loss or for whatever, we're really digging down deep, and they understand that the fitness and nutrition aspects are way beyond that. It's about having a stress outlet. It's about managing all of these different things that are happening. It's about having a routine that gives them energy throughout the day. It's about putting food in their body that makes them feel good and not depressed and sad and, sitting in their pantry with a bowl of ice cream and Cheerios. Not that I would know what that's like, but, it's the reality that we're starting in this environment to realize that fitness and nutrition are so much more than pant sizes and scale numbers. It's about having the ability to perform and to deal with all of these big changes happening without completely falling apart.
Yeah, that's so true. And I can speak to my time in working with you. We used to work out together, and then you worked with me as a coach. And I was going through a really big pivot in my life. And I think what I always told you, I wanted the hot mom bod, right? That was like our hashtag,
right.
HAWT. And I come back to that a lot. But when you go through a really challenging time, like for me, it was divorce and selling businesses and just like everything that I had to go through to get to where I'm at. It's really hard to focus on self-love. And when you are hearing from people about self-love, you hear a lot about, take a warm bubble bath, go for a walk,
Right.
okay, yeah, that's all easy stuff. And it does help you clear your head. But when you're working out, you are taking care of yourself. It is your vessel. You're absolutely right. You can't, hold on, I'm going to pause this for just Sorry, I had to pause us for just a second. We had a little background noise. Um, but I really felt really empowered um,
Yes.
with taking care of myself, carving out time. Because, like you, I am really self disciplined. I
Hmm.
am a high achiever, and I put a lot of pressure on myself, often unnecessarily. I have learned that not everybody is expecting as much as it's in my head that they want me to do. And I go for it. But
Hmm.
what I don't do is carve out time for me because I am also very empathetic and taking care of everybody else. I'm a caretaker, I'm a leader, I'm a mother, I'm all these things. When I take the time to carve out half an hour, 20
Hmm.
minutes, whatever, I am making myself a priority because it's like we talk about on the airplanes, right? Put your oxygen mask on first. If you're
Right.
not taking care of yourself, if you're not focused on leading your business and your people, you cannot take care of anybody else. You have got to make sure that you've got the systems in place, which includes carving out and scheduling time for yourself.
Hmm. You're absolutely right. I'm so glad you brought that up because that's what I see too. It's like you and I and a lot of the people that I work with have that same kind of profile. We're used to being in charge of our lives, like not just work, but our families. If your mom or dad needed something, you might be the kid that they call, or if you had to get something done in your community, you're always asked to be on the board or something like that. We're always in that get it done mode, and a lot of times when you start to feel the pressure of having all of these other things that you have to do, you start to think, okay, what can I peel off? And usually the easiest, not the best, but the easiest thing to peel off is the things that you do for yourself. So there is a reason though that when you go to Forbes or Entrepreneur or all those magazines, if you look up, and even Center for Creative Leadership had a study on this, but when you look up what are the top habits of your highest performing leaders, exercise and fitness, nutrition are always up there because everyone at that top level realizes that you don't get the best and most creative leader if that person is running on fumes. And so especially during this pandemic, when are faced with a lot of things that we're normally not faced with, many of us are finding that we're running on fumes. And so it's a really difficult transition to say, I'm running on fumes, let me go work out today. I mean, but the thing is, like, you have to realize that when you are low, when you are down and out, when you're feeling like that, one of the best things you can do is stop, pause, and carve out that time to move and to eat well. And you're right, it doesn't have to be like 5 hours. It doesn't have to be some sort of like rigorous, horrible thing. It can just be something to help you move and exercise, and immediately your energy goes up, you feel a lot better. You're ready to tackle all of the challenges of the day. You're ready to handle your team. You have a stress reliever. You're ready to go, and that's so important. It's critically important right now.
It is. And those endorphins, that's the secret sauce. I'm not a runner. I was a college volleyball player. I know what it takes to be a high performer on the court. Um, and the energy that it takes to leave life off the court
Mm-hmm.
so that you can be a high performer, so that you can focus and do the task at hand. And you can use that analogy for whatever you're doing in your life, but be present with wherever you are at that time. And I can't tell you enough that it's like, we talk about meditating and the metaphysics behind the law of attraction and whatever the buzzword of the day is, but it's all very true. And when you are working out and spending time on yourself, and when I say working out, sometimes I'm lifting like 5-pound weights and just doing some
Mm-hmm.
bicep curls, or taking a long walk but trying to pick it up a pace. You're clearing your mind and you are boosting your endorphins. You can solve problems better because you're boosting your energy. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just about food in and calories in. And talk to us about what those endorphins do, and how you feel that makes us better leaders and better people.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of the basics are around just simply having the energy to do the things that you do in your life. because, you know, exercise, eating well, that's giving you the type of energy, it's giving you, helping you get good quality sleep. I mean, all of it's so connected. And so it's like when you start to mess with one of those cogs in the machine goes haywire. So exercise, sleep, stress management, nutrition, those are all really important cogs in your machine. They help you manage your hormones. They help you, you know, get rest. They help you digest your food better. I mean, these are all things that are really important in how you feel and how you show up. And not only that, let me talk a little bit about the aesthetics, because I'm not going to, you know, I don't want to say that it's all like woo woo and meditation. That's so important. But my God, how well do you feel when you put your pants on or put your jacket on, stand up a little bit straighter, feel a little bit leaner and tighter? It's a confidence thing. It is a thing where you can walk into a room and feel like you own it. One of the funniest, not funniest as in haha, but one of the most interesting takeaways that I learned last year or the year before was I did a post about how to look good in pictures. And it had nothing to do about the aesthetics of looking good in pictures, but a lot of people were hiding themselves because they didn't feel good. All of that translates. I mean, so yes, you start with the internal, you start with the energy, and it helps you feel better. But you start to see some changes physically, and you show up differently. You don't want to hide. You present yourself in a different way. You go after things that you don't normally go after. When you feel like a blob and you don't feel great, and when I say blob, not physically, but the feeling like when you're tired and run down and you don't show up physically, those are all things that, you know, aren't necessarily aligned with leadership and moving on and positivity and leading people through change. But when you're showing up and feeling good, you look good, you feel good, it's all clicking. I mean, just imagine how unstoppable you feel when you have that kind of energy and good juju going for you. And it is internal, it is energetic, but it's external too. So I don't want to lose that external piece and forget, you know, maybe some people think I'm shallow, I don't care, but I do know in my experience when people are working on all those things, the very first changes that they feel are those internal energetic changes. Then they start to project those changes on the outside, you know, not only in their physical condition, but how they show up with other people, how they project themselves, how they sit, how they enter a room. And all of those things make a huge difference for people, especially those people who are high performers and really have a responsibility to a group of folks. So I talked a little bit around that, but you know, I am one of those few people who are going to say the outside counts sometimes, right? The inside is great, the outside counts too, and how you want to show up and present yourself and project yourself makes a difference.
Yeah, and the word that pops out when you were talking about that is owning it.
Yeah.
Um, anything that we're working on to achieve, if you're just gifted something, which weight loss does not come overnight, right?
Right.
Better biceps, which is my goal this year, does
I got
not,
you, Rochelle.
and triceps, right? You know, I've got mom wings forming. I'm not afraid to admit it. It's happening. I'm in my 40s. Here we go. And it's going to take some extra effort. But when I reach these little milestone goals, just like anything else, I'm going to feel ownership of it, and I'm not going to want to stop and let it go. I'm going to want to take care of it.
Right.
So you are your own gift, right? Like you
Right.
have to love yourself. Can you talk a little bit about where people can, you know, if they're feeling overwhelmed with whatever their goals are, their fitness goals, nutrition
Mhm.
goals, where do they start?
You know, my best advice is to start with a community, because there's something especially about now and these times being isolated that we are missing a community. So I have a fitness community called Modern Women Getting Fit on Facebook. And it's a place where everybody can come in, they can talk about their stresses, they can talk about their workouts, they can ask questions, they can be around other like-minded people. But the community piece is huge. So if you're not sure where to start, you know, you're absolutely welcome to join my community, but to find a community of people where you can get some really good, strong advice, you can get support, and then you can figure out what the next steps are to take. So for example, I do a weekly lunch and learn. I do monthly master classes. And I'm like, this week I'm bringing in one of my friends and experts on energy and mindset. And so it's a place where people can get answers. They can kind of sample some of the things that in health and fitness and nutrition. And then they can also have the support of a lot of other people who are kind of on a similar journey. So I would start with finding a community that makes sense for you. You can also reach out to me directly. I know that you can find me at my website, therealjennifernagel.com. I do consultations with people. So if there's something you just want to explore, you're not sure where to start, I'd love to just talk with you. And, you know, you can just schedule a call with me. There are lots of links on my website to get in touch. I'm one of those accessible trainers right now. I'm not this big brand where, you're going to go through 10,000 different people. You'll actually speak to me. It's really important for me to have that connection with folks. So if you're not sure where to start, look for a community of folks where you can find some support. Look for an expert like myself who can help you talk through some of your challenges and figure out a really smart starting place for you right now.
That's awesome. Thank you. And tell us a little bit more about how the network who's watching this can help you. What are you looking for?
Absolutely.
How can you, how are you stepping up your game? Because I know you are.
I absolutely love this because, Rochelle, it just shows how dedicated you are to helping other entrepreneurs and business owners. And I appreciate that question so much. One of the things that I have personally found joy in, because not only am I being of value of other people, but it allows me to expand my own network, is to be a guest. I mean, if you have a mastermind or a group or a network that you're a part of, I would love to be a guest and help teach your network how to do some of these things that improve their health and fitness and their nutrition, especially during this time. Like I said, a lot of you who are listening, because I know who Rochelle hangs out with, a lot of you who are listening are those leaders, and you associate with those leaders. And you probably don't think you can show that vulnerability right now, where you've got this front-facing presence to your team and to your audience, but you're probably also feeling stressed and worried and having to pivot and overwhelmed. And so I love to go in and talk with people about how they can create solutions, especially now during times of pivoting and changing, that help them take care of themselves. So the best way that your network could support me was just to invite me to help teach and provide value to some of the people on their team and their own network. So again, you can contact me at The Real Jennifer Nagel, or reach out to me on Facebook, facebook.com/The Real Jennifer Nagel. I'd love to hear more from you, and I'd love to support your networks, especially while you're all working on changing and pivoting during this time.
Thank you so much. And I will make sure to list all of those resources when I post this video. I want to thank you so much for your time, your expertise, your warm heart, the beautiful smile. I hope that we can bring some joy to people and some confidence that this too shall pass. And all the tips that you are sharing right now, I believe are applicable always. So
It's true.
I really think that this is a really evergreen conversation that I really hope people will take to heart. So good luck to you, Jennifer, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Rochelle. I really enjoyed our conversation.